Chapter 5. Anyone can change. So let's be honest, is that true? Do you actually believe that? Growing up, I used to hear that a fool at 40 is a fool forever. Or I've heard that a leopard cannot change its spots. So I actually grew up thinking, as creatures of habit, it really might take a whole lot to change. Well, the good news is that yes, we are capable of changing our habits of procrastination, bad diet, lack of sleep, all or nothing thinking, and we can change it to more positive self-talk, mindfulness, work-life balance. It's possible, but not without an action plan. So let's talk about it. Let's first of all talk about why do we do what we do? Well, there's several reasons. We just do things out of second nature. It's just what you do. Like, for instance, this morning, I kept my keys different from where I usually keep them. And you would think I would remember that I changed the direction. So when I was looking for it, I went to the same place where I've always kept it. That's what my buddy will do. It will go to its default. So it's the same way as we are. It's a habit. So a habit is a routine that is repeated so many times that it becomes automatic, right? And so that's good habits, bad habits. We've done it so long, it just becomes second nature. But then the question is, how can we change those patterns? Because we want habits that serve us, right? That serves our health. Habits of stop overeating, right? Not eating late at night, not always turning to food. We need to develop habits that will serve us. So how do we start that whole process? Well, it's about being intentional. So positive reinforcement, progress tracking, because as I say, if you do not measure it, you can't manage it. Motivation, problem awareness. Sometimes we don't even know it's a problem. We gotta know that it's a problem and have a clear plan on how to address these issues that we want to change. So we start off by understanding, how does a habit come about? So a habit is a cue. It's the routine and the reward. So a habit is not going to form without those three things. A cue is a trigger, something that you think about that makes you want to do that habit, the routine, and then the reward that you're going to get out of it. So when I was in my state of emotional eating, all I had to do was maybe drive through Dunkin' Donut or maybe get stressed for whatever reason, good or bad stress. That's the irony. Good stress could actually lead me to want to have a donut, to have a cookie. And I would not think about all my healthy things as options. And just something like that was my cue. And then my routine was, yes, grab it. I deserve it. And then the reward is, yes, the feeling of high, the dopamine rush that I would get, the adrenaline rush. It's like, yes, that feels good. That's relieving. So those are the three things that make up that habit. So what is yours? Maybe you snack when you're bored, or maybe when you go to the movies, the next thing you're thinking about is popcorn. But we need to find habits that serve us, because if we don't, we're going to continue on that loop. So are you tired of that loop? I was, because it was just adding to my waistline. It was making me sick. I mean, we eat the foods that taste good, but does the body no good? So I had to sit down and come to a realization. What can I do? So learning the skeleton of any habit is the key to breaking it. So you have to isolate that cue. What is it? Why am I here when it occurs? What time is it? How am I feeling? What else is here? What actions do I need to take? We have to pause. I know we are in this fast-paced world that we really don't take time to ask ourselves, what's going on here? Or even feel it, be in the feelings of how it feels. Like, yes, I'm stressed, I'm tired, I feel like a cookie. But, pause instead of running to that thing. So several things we can do. Suddenly eliminate that cue for you to, the one that tells you, go ahead and do it. Eliminate it. They say that your goals are only as good as your environment. So for me, if I want not to be reminded of those things, I have to keep it away from me, out of sight, out of mind. I have to purposely wait for 10 minutes, which was difficult, I must confess, to wait and feel the uncomfortable feeling. And usually they go away. Usually the feeling goes away. It's just hanging in through it. But the sad part is every time I gave in, I craved it even more. I gained even more weight. I was making my blood pressure high. I was more stressed. But times when I stayed in, waited at least 10 minutes, take a deep breath in and out. And then 3, swap that old habit with a desirable one. So what is the desirable one? Maybe go out for a walk. Maybe call your friend. There's several things that we have to do, but we have to be prepared for it. We have to know that it's coming. We live in a stressful environment. It's going to come. It's not about if it's coming, it's just about when it's going to come. So for instance, I notice stress, I listen to my favorite album before I eat. I love music, and I always have to remember that music is there for me to help me, right? If you've had a long day, maybe take a bath, do some lavender oil, some air diffuser, put it on. There's several things that we can do. So a few questions to just test your understanding and application, of course. If you have a habit, then you want to stick to it. You want to do it all together, so many of them, rush through it, keep a picture of it in your mind, or do you want to focus on gradual but meaningful changes? Definitely gradual and meaningful changes. Another question, so when you're having a hard time with a new habit, it's best to share your challenge with someone, to remind yourself that you stand to benefit from adopting the new habit, or take a break and try again when you're motivated. Definitely don't wait till you're motivated, because we know motivation is in and out. Action brings motivation, not motivation bringing action, because you can't rely on motivation. So the answer here is, share your challenge. See if there's somebody that can help you, somebody that can work with you, but you don't want to quit. You don't want to make a habit of quitting. You want to keep trying. You learn, you learn forward, you feel forward, like they say. All right. So when you are working on a new habit, you want to make sure that whenever you experience a setback, you learn from the setback. So you break it, you make it. You can break those habits. Another thing that I would like to encourage you, and that I've applied in my life that helps, is that I develop habits that I stock together. So for instance, if I'm in the restroom, when I'm done, wash my hands and all of that, do my business, then I squat. I do some stretches that can help. Or maybe when I wake up in the morning, affirmation, words of just affirmation, encourage myself, or meditate, deep breaths in and out. Or when you go into the kitchen, drink some water. So those are all the things. Now, let's talk about the 21-day rule. Because some people say, a habit, give it 3 weeks. Oh gosh. It's so far from the truth. There's no one size fit all. It varies from people to people, and it depends on that habit, how strong a hold it is. Some people 21 days might work for them, and some people, they need more than that. The important thing is repetition, consistency, right? But the bigger the change, the more time people generally need. So when you are making these changes, be very realistic, right? Does it fit into your routine? Are you able to do it on a daily basis? Does it come fairly easy to you? How happy does it make you? Or whether just happy or feel good? Does it require slight adjustment to your overall? And other individual factors that should play into your habit building process. So we have to be very, very mindful of these things before we say yes. There were many times I would do the 30-day diet. No sugar, you see it all over social media. No candy, no cake, no this, no that. That was restriction. And then once it was over, then we go back to habits as usual. So you don't want anything like that. You want to make a plan that is doable. You have to have a strong why. You have to make sure that your environment is suitable for that. So those are the things you have to be very mindful of, and be aware that there's setbacks, right? There's going to be some bumps in the way. It's not a linear road. It's bumpy here and there. But the good news is that you're able to do it. And I do applaud you for trying and exploring. So yes, we can change our habits. We can change our lifestyle. We just have to have a great plan at it. Thank you for listening. You deserve to live at your finest because you're worth it.